Mr. Wordsworth or Sir Walter Scott should never struggle as I do to describe spring in Chawton. The delight of slipping on one's bonnet in the fresh new hour before breakfast, and securing about one's shoulders the faded pelisse of jaconet that has served one so nobly for countless Aprils past, of walking alone into the morning as bird-song and tugging breezes swell about one's head, of the catch in one's throat at the glimpse of a fox hurrying home to her kits, waiting curled and warm in the den beneath the park's great oaks. Spring, in all its rains and clinging mud, its sharp green scents full blown on the nose, and a newborn foal in the pasture below the great house. And in this glorious season, too, a splendid change has come upon the little Hampshire village I call my own. For my elder brother, the rich and distinguished Mr. Edward Austen Knight, as he and all his numerous progeny must now style themselves, having acceded to his benefactor's surname, as well as his estates in Kent and Hampshire, has descended in state upon Chawton Great House, with his full retinue of trusted servants, under-gardeners, grooms, coachmen, and what I am pleased to call Edward's harem, a hopeful clutch of motherless daughters, most too young to marry and still at home. Edward intends to spend the better part of the summer in the antiquated pile that once was let to our dear neighbours, the Middletons, Mr. John Middleton having determined to give up the place when his treaty was run, while the Austen Knights idle away June and July in Hampshire. Their principal seat, Godmersham Park in Kent, will submit to refurbishment, the interiors having grown sadly shabby without Edward's late wife's care. It is quite a treat to have one's relations, and all the elegancies of table, coach, and society, but a stone's throw from one's door, and I spun many happy webs for myself that bright April morning, as I walked through the meadows and listened to the song of a blackbird hidden somewhere in the hedgerow. Edward's eldest daughter Fanny is full 20 years old, and although a trifle subdued for my taste, and possessed of starched notions quite appalling in one so young, she must be adjudged a welcome addition to the cottage circle, whenever she may venture through the village in search of trifles and laughter. It was possible, I thought, that Martha Lloyd and I between us might be of use to poor dear Fanny in enlarging her spirit and mind, or at the very least her capacity for wit. There is nothing so quelling in a young woman, I find, as a want of humour, but much must be forgiven the girl. She was thrust too young into the role of mother when Elizabeth died. Fanny cannot have been more than 15 then, and at 20 must feel already as though she has lived 2 lifetimes in managing her father's household. She is certain to find Chawton unutterably dull, however. The assemblies in Alton are not such as she has been used to in the elegant Kentish circles she frequents. Was there, I wondered, any young man in the neighbourhood capable of engaging her interest? Considering and discarding the various scions of local families as I walked amidst the dew-laden grass, I was full of pleasurable schemes that dreadful morning. Once Fanny was dismissed as too dear a prize for Alton's youth, my mind revolved the various attractions of an altogether different cut of gentleman, one Henry Crawford, for I have reached a most delicious point in the writing of my 3rd novel, which is to be called Mansfield Park, when I must decide whether another Fanny, a sober and rather humourless young woman, entirely of my own invention, though not quite my niece, is to make the roguish creature the happiest of men, or cast him into the depths of misery at a single word.